Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whichever location you are watching this video. A very warm welcome to Questpond's channel. And in this video, I want to announce the microservices training. So we are starting the microservices training with a project in the coming 19th and 20. So every Saturday, Sunday from 1920 will be 1920. Then the next Saturday again, Saturday, Sunday. The next Saturday again, Saturday, Sunday. Every day 1 hour we'll be taking this training on the weekends. Please note weekends, Saturday, Sunday only. We follow the peaceful learning. If you don't understand peaceful learning means what? We'll take the training on Saturday and Sunday, and Monday to Friday you have time to practice, right? So down below I have put down the peaceful learning training, which we follow on Questpond. What you can do is that, before you come to this training, right, just go through our microservices training of 1 hour. Because the microservices is divided into two parts, right? Strategic and tactical. So the 1 hour video, which is down below in the comment section, just have a look at it so that it can make your training much better, right? So go ahead. If you want to avail for this training, you can go to questpond.com. You can chat about it. So it's hardly 4 to 5 days, which is out there. So let us go ahead and look at the syllabus. So here is the syllabus, right, of microservices, and you can see that first thing, very clearly, right, the technology which I'll be using out here for microservices is C#, ASP.NET, SQL Server, Entity Framework, RabbitMQ to talk in between, right, Azure for security, Oscillate for APIM. So the technology is broadly Microsoft based, right? But said and done, if somebody is from Java also, right, when he looks at these videos, right, he would get a very good idea of how to map with the other technologies as well, right? But the coding which I'll be showing in Microsoft technologies only, right? And the way I'm planning for this video is, right, for this whole lecture is by using a project. So I'll be building a very simple ASP.NET project, right, which will have a billing domain in the billing bounded context, right? And in the billing bounded context, when you put a data, it will make an entry into the accounting bounded context, right? In the accounting application, and the accounting application it will make a debit and a credit. So I'll talk about that in the class also, right? And whenever we are doing this project, right, we'll go through all that strategic planning of DDD. We'll go through the DDD concepts, right? We will look at these repository. We'll implement mediator. We'll implement circuit breaker. We will do a single sign-on by using OAuth and OpenID, right, and so on, right? And also we'll look into deployment into Docker and Kubernetes. This is going to be a very long exclusive training, and my guess is that it will take at least 4 months for this training. So in a month, remember this is happening on Saturday and Sunday. So we are starting from 1920, 19th and 20. So this we are starting from 19 July. I'm just writing it down out here. So it will be starting from 19 July, right? And will be Saturday and Sunday, 1 hour, right? So with that, if I estimate it will take me at least 4 months at least, right? Let us see how much time it takes, right? And very quickly, in case you are a Questpond subscriber, you will say that, sir, you had already taken microservices, right? We had taken microservices in 2023, that is 2 years back. And in 2023, when I took microservices, right, a lot of things have changed from that. It's change means, I'm not saying the conceptual change, right? But a lot of things has evolved in these 2 years, right? And I felt that whenever I'm taking a mock interview with developers out there, many of the developers were saying, oh, like in the interview, we are asked about strategic planning, which is not there in the videos, right? So I thought that we should retake this training. See, a lot of times in Questpond, we retake the training, right? So we'll retake this training. So, but said and done, you can still go through this. You can still go through these videos out here, very much relevant. But once this training comes up, right, this training will be removing. Why? Because it is with the old style, with the old things, right? And remember, this Saturday, Sunday training, why do we take on Saturday, Sunday, right? Because what happens is if you do 1 hour on Saturday and Sunday, and then you have Monday to Friday for practice. So in Questpond, we follow something called as peaceful learning. At least I don't believe that I can take like a lot of people, what they do 8 hours of hackathon. Must be that is good for many developers, right? But for many developers, that can be an overload as well. Specifically, if you're working in some company, right, you don't have time to do 8 hours and the next day you will do something, right? So by peaceful learning, what happens? Down below, I put the video of peaceful learning. Please go and watch that. You do 1 hour, then you practice. Then you do another 1 hour, you practice. With this, right, your understanding of the topic, becomes more solid, right? So this is going to be a Saturday, Sunday training, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, right? And the syllabus is as follows. You can see the syllabus out here. We'll start first with DDD. See, when you talk about microservices, the whole thing stands on domain-driven design. And in DDD, there are two parts. One is the planning part, which is called as the strategic DDD, right? And another one is the execution part, which is called as the tactical DDD, right? Where we start writing classes and so on, right? Now, just in case, before you come to this class, what you can do is that you can go through my Azure Microservices Strategic DDD video. The part one, the lesson one, I've just given it out free out there, because if you read and come, right, you will be more equipped, right? So down below in the comment section also I have put the Learn Microservices 1 hour of video where I have taken all these 17 chapters. You can go through that, right? So with that, at least the planning part of DDD you are clear, right? But said and done, in the class I will retake it again. Why? Because when I take in the live training, when I take the same thing in the live training, people ask me questions, and when they ask me questions, right, not only I get, I also grow in that term. I also grow. Why? Because I see new questions, I see new scenarios. Also, the course becomes more richful in content, right? See, live training is a live training, video-based training is a video-based training. But said and done, the down is the video. Go ahead and watch it. But in live training, I will definitely take all of this, right? And I will relate this whole thing, with our project. That is what we'll do here. So first, coming Saturday, Sunday, 19th and 20, my focus will be on this 17 chapters if I can complete, right? And just in case if we cannot complete on Sunday, we'll again start from the next Saturday. That's how it works, right? Then we'll start with tactical DDD. So first thing, in strategic DDD, what we'll do, we'll look into why microservices, right? We'll look into monolith, how it is different from microservices. We'll understand this domain-driven design, how important it is. We'll talk about the different types of domain, subdomain, core domain, supporting domain, generic domain. Please see the 1 hour video, you'll get an idea, right? Bounded context, context map. There are 9 context map patterns. We'll have a look at that, right? And we'll do a revision. So this is part one, more planning part. Now the second one is tactical, where we have to start writing the code. So we look into a different kind of classes. In DDD, what happens? There are different kind of classes like entity classes, value objects, aggregate root, right? So there are actually 3 kinds of classes: entities, value objects, and services. There are 3 types of classes. So from there we start, but then we say, oh, like entities means we have to do aggregate root also. When you say aggregate root, then iterator pattern of gang of 4 comes into picture. So we'll look into that, right? Once this is done, then we'll say, okay, we want to save it into database. For that, we'll be using the repository pattern, and for commit and rollback, we'll be using the unit of work, right? So this is the one part, right? The next thing what we will look into is CQRS, command query responsibility segregation, right? So in CQRS, what you do is that, like traditionally what you do as a developer, if you want to, you will create only one model, right? So customer means customer. So the customer, you will map it with the table, you will insert, update and delete. But what CQRS says? CQRS says no, like the insert is very different from an update. If you look at the insert, right? In the insert, you have to pass all the values to create a new record, right? But in case of an update, you have to only pass the ID and the necessary update. Look at delete, simple. You only pass the ID, delete, right? Read, different, right? So what they say is that SRP, single responsibility principle. In case you have not done solid, that S of the solid, again, down below in the comments, your videos. Remember, whenever I'm talking, right, if you just go through that video, you'll understand. So SRP says that one class should do only one thing at a time, right? So why create one class which will do create, update and delete, right? It is too confusing. So that's why one is CQRS pattern. And what I feel personally, right, if you want to do microservices, frankly, right, you have to have CQRS. I feel so. Why? Because because at the end of the day, you want to segregate the inserts, update and delete and send it to the other system. Are we getting, guys? So for that, CQRS is must, which is not possible in our traditional domain model. Okay, so then CQRS out here. And when we are talking about CQRS, right, we have to use the mediator pattern. Why? Because in CQRS, for every command, there is a code which will get executed. For every query, there's a code. So this mapping, this mediator will help you to do that mapping. That is the mediator out here, right? Also, some of the concepts I'll be talking about, GUID and versioning, all that is there, right? Also, what we'll do is we also talk about some important pattern like Saga and event sourcing and so on. especially the Saga thing I want to talk in Saga. See what happens is, I know that I'm just going through the syllabus, so that you understand that what I will take in the class. So you are having a billing application, you are having a accounting application. Now think about it. You add one billing ID, let's say bill number is 1001, and after that you go and you update that bill 1001, you update, then you go and you delete that bill. Now the way you have inserted, updated and deleted in the same saga means like telling a story, in the same way it has to be replayed into the accounting system, or else it's a problem, right? That's where we talk about Saga, and Saga, for that we use queues. Why queues? Because it does FIFO, first in first out. So whatever insert goes first, he will get executed. Update goes first, next he gets executed, FIFO, right? So again, we'll talk about the Saga pattern, we'll talk about model projection, all that, eventual consistency when you're talking about when you're talking about transactions, right? Eventual consistency will come into picture. Also, for communication, we'll be using RabbitMQ, right? Let me know if any other queues you are looking forward, right? But I'm going to choose RabbitMQ, right? We can use Kafka as well, which is it's again very famous, right? But RabbitMQ is almost like Kafka. We'll talk about it, right? So some queue you have to know when you talk about microservices. Second is, one more important thing when you're learning microservices is that you need to understand APIM. See what happens now. So at the back you have billing, you have accounting, you can have inventory, you can have payroll, right? Now for all of them you need to put some common thing. For example, you want to put a rate limiter. You want to say that if somebody is just pinging our application for 1 minute, right, we'll just block him. You want to put security, OpenID, OAuth, JWT token, right? So if you want to put some common things out there, then you have to have APIM. Right, APIM. So in this, I'll be taking Ocelot, which is one of the APIM open source, and also we can look into APIM of Azure as well. I will not be taking Azure. Remember, this is not an Azure class. We have a separate Azure class, right? You can have a look at it. So this APIM will talk about that, how it acts as a front-end layer for the back-end microservices. Right? This again we'll talk about. Also for database, when you're talking about database designing also, right, we need to have a little bit of understanding on tenant and multi-tenant, right? So database pattern, shared database or database per service, right? We'll talk about that, right? Also about the communication between microservices. Do you want it to be synchronous? Do you want to go through queues, right? And so on. Single sign-on. So you have two microservices at the back, but at the end of the day, if I log in into accounting, I should be able to log in into inventory as well for some of the users, right? So we'll look into single sign-on also. And when you're talking about microservices, right, one of the important part of microservices is resiliency. So let us say that from billing, you send some data to accounting and the accounting application is not running, right? So there should be a way that where it will actually try to recover it, right? So it'll say, okay, this accounting is not done. So what you would like to do? You would like to implement resiliency, saying that can we have something, by which we can keep polling if that thing is completed or not, right? So we'll talk about some patterns out here: partial failure, circuit pattern, circuit breaker pattern, right? Exponential backup, health monitoring, and so on, right? So we'll talk about this. Also, we'll be talking about service discovery as well, which we'll just go through the basics of it. And for service discovery, we'll be using APIM to implement it, right? And many more things I'll be adding here. See what happens in my lecture, right? Sometimes I'm doing the project, I'm inside it, right? And then suddenly someone says on day 10, hey Shiv, can we see how we can do this with Azure Active Directory? Oh, why not? That must be in the week I prepare and we talk, right? So sometimes not like this is my base 90% I'll be taking, right? But I do tailor, sometimes if something comes in between, I will do tailor it, right? So this is the overall thinking, what is there in my mind, right? Of microservices. Let me know in the comments down below that what I should be adding more, right? So that we can make this training more better. So 19th and 20 July, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. we are starting this training, right? Before coming to this training, if you can see the microservices video, right, it will help you to prepare better. I put it down below, right? And please put down in the comments that what do you think, that this training is useful, this training is beneficial, right? And see you on 19th July, Saturday and Sunday. Happy learning, happy job hunting.